Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I hope I am loud and clear. Ito si Rain. Rain, you are our photographer this evening. Malinaw, malakas ba dating ko? Rain? Okay, class. Now, we've been encountering many times before internal control. No? Now, this evening, focus natin ang internal control Now, this evening, internal control defined its elements. Okay, so we start. Okay, Rose Ann Kua.
Okay po, wait lang po. Okay na po ba? Nakita po.
Ano pa kaunti? Baka pwede pa mapalaking kaunti.
Yan na po.
Okay,
Okay.
sige.
Good day, everyone. I will discuss the Chapter 11, Consideration of Internal Control in a Financial Statement Audit. But before that, what is internal control? Internal control are the mechanism, rules, and procedures implemented by a company to ensure the integrity of financial and accounting information. Ito ay patakaran at pamamaraan na ipinapatupad ng isang company upang magkaroon ng tiyak na financial statements. So paano nga ba nakakatulong ang internal control sa mga auditor? Well, kapag maganda ang isang internal control ng isang company, maliles or mababawasan ang mga gawain ng mga auditor. Well, that's the reason why internal control is good. It will lessen the work of the auditors but they can't rely to the others' work, especially mali nga yung hinahanap nila sa isang financial statement. So they should double check those financial statements to have a reliable information or to classify that they have a credible internal control. Introduction, PSA 315 clarified identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatements through understanding the entity and its environment, establishes standards and provides guidance in obtaining an understanding of the accounting and internal control system and on audit risk and its components, inherent risk, control risk, and detection risk. So, batay sa PSA 315, ito ay tumutulong upang malaman at maunawaan kung ano nga ba ang material misstatements ng isang management. Ito ay pinatupad upang magbigay ng guide sa pagkuha ng kaalaman patungkol sa accounting at sa internal control system na mayroong inherent risk o likas sa panganib, control risk or at detection risk o panganib sa pagtuklas. One of the most widely accepted concepts in the theory and the practice of auditing is the importance of the client system of internal control to generate reliable financial information. If the auditor is convinced that the client has an excellent system of internal control, one that includes adequate internal controls for providing reliable data and for safeguarding assets and records, the amount of audit evidence to be accumulated can be significantly less than when controls are not adequate. In some instances, internal control may be so inadequate as to preclude conducting an effective audit. Isa sa mga tinatanggap bilang konsepto ng isang teorya at pagpraktisang pag-audit ay ang pagpapahalaga sa mga system ng internal control ng isang client na nagbibigay ng reliable information. At kapag na-convince nila ang auditor, dito malalaman na may maganda at maayos silang sistema sa isang internal control. Kasama na rito ang pagbibigay ng maasahang data, pag-iingat sa kanilang asset at record, at ang ebidensya na maiipon ay maaaring mahalaga kaya't lahat ng statements ay dapat recorded as documents. Lalo na't hindi sa lahat ng oras ay hindi sapat upang maiwasan ang pagkakaroon ng isang epektibong pag-audit. Nature and purpose of internal control. PSA 315 clarified paragraph 4. defines internal control as the process designed and effected by those charged with governance, management, and other personnel to provide reasonable assurance about the achievement of the entity's objectives with regard to reliability of financial reporting, effectiveness and efficiency of operations, and compliance with applicable laws and regulations. It follows that internal control is designed and implemented to address identified business risks that threaten the achievement of any of these objectives. Batay sa paragraph 4 ng internal control, ito ay dinisign para babantayan ang governance, management at iba pang personnel na bibigay ng assurance na makamit ng isang entity ang pagkakaroon ng maayos na financial reporting at husay patungkol sa mga operations na may applicable laws at regulation. Internal control ay ginawa para i-identify at ma-prevent ang possible risk upang ma-achieve nila yung mga objectives nila sa isang management. Especially, internal control function is to minimize the risk, protect assets, and accuracy of records. Those objectives fall into three categories: reliability of the entity's financial reporting o pagkakaroon na walang mali sa kanilang financial reporting, effectiveness and efficiency of operations. Dito makikita yung epekto at kung gaano sila kahusay sa kanilang operations. Compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Ito yung pagsunod sa angkop na batas. Whether an entity achieves its objectives relating to financial reporting and compliance is determined by activities within the entity's control. However, achieving its objectives relating to operations will depend not only on management's decision but also on competitors' actions and other factors outside the entity. If na-achieve ng isang entity yung tatlong objectives na sinabi ko kanina, ibig sabihin nito ay mayroon silang kaayusan in terms of entities control. Nevertheless, obtaining the goals na connected sa operations ay nakadepende sa desisyon ng management at sa behavior na pinapakita ng kanilang mga competitors at iba pang situation na nagaganap sa labas ng entity. Internal control system defined. Internal control system means all the policies and procedures adopted by the management of an entity to assist in achieving management's objective of ensuring, as far as practicable, the orderly and efficient conduct of its business, including adherence to management policies, the safeguarding of assets, the prevention and detection of fraud and error, the accuracy and completeness of the accounting records, and the timely preparation of reliable financial information. Internal control system is the manner of all policies and procedures na nagpatibay ng pamamahala ng isang entity upang makatulong sa pag-achieve ng kanilang goal sa isang management. Hanggat nagagawa nila ng maayos at may kakayahan na mapaunlad ng negosyo, kasama na rito ang pagsunod sa mga policies, pag-iingat ng kanilang mga pundar, pag-iwas sa mga masamang gawain, at pagkakaroon ng tumpak at kompletong accounting record, at ang pagkakaroon ng panahon para ihanda ang mga reliable financial information na kinakailangan nila sa isang organization or management. Elements of internal control. Internal control structures vary significantly from one company to the next. Factors such as size of the business, nature of operations, the geographical dispersion of its activities, and objectives of the organization affect the specific control features of an organization. However, certain elements or features must be present to have a satisfactory system of control in almost any large-scale organization. Ang internal control structures ay may iba't ibang halaga sa isang company. Tulad na lamang sa laki ng negosyo, kung paano sila magtrabaho, kung paano nila ipamahagi yung mga trabaho, at ang goal ng isang organization na makakapekto sa pagkontrol ng isang management. Ngunit dapat ang mga elemento o ibang elemento ay dapat magkaroon ng maayos sa system control lalo na sa mga malalaking organization. The internal control system extends beyond these matters, which relate directly to the functions of the accounting system and consist of the following components. Ang internal control system ay lumalampas sa mga bagay na nagbibigay tungkulin sa accounting system tulad ng A. The control environment o pagkontrol sa kanilang kapaligiran. B. The entity's risk assessment process o pagsuri sa proseso ng isang entity's risk. C. The information system including the related business processes relevant to financial reporting and communication. Ito ay information method na nagbibigay ng konektado na proseso sa isang negosyo kaugnay sa financial report at sa kanilang komunikasyon. D. Control activities o aktibidad sa pagkontrol. E. Monitoring of control or pagbabantay sa kanilang control. A. Control environment. The control environment, which means the overall attitude, awareness, and actions of directors and management regarding the internal control system and its importance in the entity. The control environment has an effect on the effectiveness of the specific control procedures. A strong control environment, for example, one with tight budgetary controls and an effective internal audit function, can significantly complement specific control procedures. However, a strong environment does not, by itself, ensure the effectiveness of the internal control system. Factors reflected in the control environment include ang control environment ay nagbibigay ng panglahatang kaalaman sa loobin at pagkilos ng mga direktor at management patungkol sa kanilang internal control system at kahalagahan nito sa isang entity. Ang control environment ay may epekto sa magiging resulta nito sa isang internal control procedures. Ang halimbawa nito ay pagkakaroon ng strong control environment na may mahigpit na kontrol sa pag-budget at pagkakaroon ng isang epektibong internal audit function na maaaring makadagdag sa isang control procedures. Ngunit ang isang malakas na environment ay hindi kayang gawin na siya lamang para maging epektibo ang isang internal control system. Kaya kinakailangan nito ang control environment ang mga sumusunod. The function of the Board of Directors and its committees o katungkulan ng Board ng Directors at ng committees. Management's philosophy and operating style, pagkakaroon ng pamamahala sa kaisipan at estilo sa pagpapatakbo, the entity's organizational structure and methods of assigning authority and responsibility, structure ng isang entity's organization at paraan sa pagbibigay ng responsibilidad, management's control system including the internal audit function, personal policies and procedures, and segregation of duties. Ito yung sistema ng management control, kasama na rito ang internal audit function, patakaran ng mga tauhan, at paghihiwalay ng mga tungkulin. The environment in which internal control operates has an impact on the effectiveness of the specific control procedures. Several factors comprise the control environment include ito yung internal control ay nakaka-epekto sa kanyang kapaligiran lalo na't may epekto ito sa isang control procedures na maraming factor katulad ng sumusunod. 1. Communication and enforcement of integrity and ethical values o pagpapatupad ng integridad at mga ethical sa pagpapahalaga. Integrity and ethical values are essential elements of the internal control environment. They affect the design, administration, and monitoring of other components of internal control. An entity's ethical and behavioral standards and the manner in which it communicates and reinforces them determine the entity's integrity and ethical behavior. Integrity and ethical values included management's actions to remove or reduce incentives and temptations that might prompt personnel to engage in dishonest, illegal, or unethical acts. They also include the communication of entity values and behavioral standards to personnel through policy statements, a code of conduct, and management's example of appropriate behavior. Ito naman ay patungkol sa integridad at pagpapahalaga sa ethical. Ito ay mahalaga lalo na sa internal control management. Nakakapekto ito sa mga design, administration, at sa pagkontrol ng bahagi ng internal control. Ang pamantayan sa ethical at ang paraan ng pakikipag-usap ay naglalayon na malaman ng entidad ng integrity at ang pagpapahalaga sa ethical. Kasama rin dito ang kilos na ng management kung paano sila magtatanggal o magbabawas ng incentives or temptation para maiwasan ng mga empleyado na makaisip o makagawa na hindi dapat o masamang gawain sa loob ng management. Kasama rin sa mga ito ay pag-uusap na may entity values at may pamantayan sa ugali sa mga employees tulad ng policy statements, code of conduct at management's example of appropriate behavior na naglalayo na magkaroon ng organizational behavior upang mas lalong magkaintindihan ng bawat isa at mas lalong maiwasan ang hindi pagkakaunawan sa isang organization. That's all po. Thank you.
Okay, very good. So nice. So we're gonna be starting to learn more about internal control. So internal control encompasses uh, so many. By definition, policies and procedures, the na ginagamit ng management to attain its objective of ensuring uh, orderly and efficient conduct of business. Mga policies, safeguarding of assets, prevention and detection of fraud and error, accuracy, completeness of records, and the timely presentation of reliable financial information. So we continue. The next is flat. Paki, ano pa ng kaunti. Kaunti pa. Mary Road. Sobra yan ata. Yan. Oh.
Hello
Oh,
everyone. Ay,
okay.
okay po ba ako?
Kaunti pang maximize yung pang kaunti. Sobra. Yan.
So, hello
Okay.
everyone. Start na po ako.
Mm-mm.
Hello everyone. I'm Mary Roselat and I will discuss the continuation of COA's report. So, number 2, commitment to competence. Competence is the knowledge and skills necessary to accomplish tasks that define an employee's job. Commitment to competence means that management considers the competence levels for particular jobs in determining the skills and knowledge required of each employee and that it hires employees competent to perform the task. Yung competence po is yung ability of the applicant to perform. Dito sinusukat natin ang knowledge. Dito nasusukat yung knowledge at skills ng applicant para malaman ng entity kung qualified siya para dun sa trabaho. Participation by those charged with governance. An entity's control consciousness is influenced significantly by those charged with governance. Attributes of those charged with governance include independence from management, their experience and stature, the extent of their involvement, and scrutiny of activities, the appropriateness of their actions, the information they receive, the degree to which difficult questions are raised and pursued with management, and their interaction with internal and external auditors. The importance of responsibilities of those charged with governance is recognized in codes of practice and other regulations or guidance produced for the benefit of those charged with governance. Other responsibilities of those charged with governance include oversight of the design and effective operation of whistleblower procedures and the process for reviewing the effectiveness of the entity's internal control. Yung those charged with governance po, sila po yung nag-aaral, nag-e-examine po ng mga activities ng entity. So kapag po may mga mali pong silang napapansin or nakikita na activity ng entity is may karapatan po silang i-raise yung mga questions nila sa management. At sila din po yung nakikipag-communicate sa internal at external auditors. Ang mga responsibilities po ng those charged with governance, sila po yung nagsusupervise sa design at kung effective po ba yung operation ng whistleblower procedures. Ang whistleblower po is a person or an employee na nagre-report po ng illegal activity sa organizations. So, ang whistleblower procedures naman or policy, ito naman po yung ina-encourage niya yung mga employees na magsalita or mag-complain kapag meron pong misconduct, harmful behaviors, at illegal activity within and outside the entity. Yung those charged with governance po ay yung mga board of directors at audit committee. Number 4, management's philosophy and operating style. This refers to management's attitude towards a business risk, financial reporting, meeting budget, profit, and other established goals, which all have impact on the reliability of the financial statements. Management's approach to taking and monitoring business risk, its conservative or aggressive selection from alternative accounting principles, its conscientiousness and conservatism in developing accounting estimates, and its attitude toward information processing and the accounting function and personnel are factors that affect the control environment. So dito naman is about lang siya sa attitude ng management sa business risk, sa financial reporting, at sa information processing and accounting function and personnel. Organizational structure. The responsibilities and authorities of the various personnel within the organization should be established in such a manner as to assist the entity in meeting its goals and objectives, and ensure that transactions are processed, recorded, summarized, and reported in an accurate and timely manner. Organizational structure provides the overall framework for planning, directing, and controlling operations. Dito naman, sa pag-establish ng organizational structure is nakadepende siya sa size at nature ng business. So, yung organizational structure, dinedescribe niya or ipinapakita niya kung paano dinedelegate yung authorities at responsibilities sa mga subordinates. So, ang isa sa mga responsibilities ng mga nasa posisyon na is tulungan yung entity na ma-meet yung goal at objectives nito at siguraduhin na tama yung mga nare-record at nare-report na mga transactions. So in short po, yung yung organizational structure ay nagpo-provide po siya ng overall framework for planning, directing, and controlling operations. Assignment of authority and responsibility. Personnel within an organization need to have a clear understanding of the responsibilities and the rules and regulations that govern their actions. Management may develop job descriptions, computer system documentation. It may also establish policies regarding acceptable business practice, conflicts of interest, and code of conduct. Kung sa organizational structure po, pinapakita doon kung paano dinelegate yung mga positions. Dito naman po is mag-a-assign pa lang or i-distribute pa lang yung mga positions sa mga subordinates or sa mga personnel. So, dapat yung mga i-assign natin doon, yung mga personnel, alam nila at naiintindihan nila yung responsibilities nila na kaakibat ng posisyon na yon. At dapat alam din nila na lahat ng results ng actions nila is accountable sila. So yung management, pwede silang mag-develop ng job descriptions, ng code of conduct. Yung job descriptions dito, nakalagay dito yung kung ano at hanggang saan lang yung trabaho ng isang empleyado. At yung code of conduct po is para malaman ng mga employees kung paano sila magbe-behave within and outside the entity. Human resources policies and procedures. Perhaps the most important element of an internal accounting control system is the people who perform and execute the established policies and procedures. Personnel policies should be adopted by the client to reasonably ensure that only capable and honest persons are hired and retained. Policies with respect to employee selection, training, and supervision should be adopted and implemented by the client. The selection of competent and honest personnel does not automatically assure that errors or irregularities will not occur. However, adequate personal policies coupled with the design concepts suggested earlier in this selection enhance the likelihood that the client's policies and procedures will be followed. So dito is about lang siya kung gaano kahalaga ang policies at procedures sa pag-hire ng employees. At yung intention ng policies at procedures nito is para din naman sa ikakabuti ng entity. So these policies, it filters the capable and honest people that can only be hired. Next, entities risk assessment process. Risk assessment is the identification, analysis, and management of risk pertaining to the preparation of financial statements. For example, risk assessment may focus on how the entity considers the possibility of transactions not being recorded or identifies and assesses significant estimates recorded in the financial statements. An entity's risk assessment process is its process for identifying and corresponding to business risk and the result thereof. For financial reporting purposes, the entity's risk assessment process include how management identifies risk relevant to the preparation of financial statements that are presented fairly in all material respects in accordance with the entity's applicable financial reporting framework, estimates their significance, assesses the likelihood of their occurrence, and decides upon actions to manage them. For example, the entity's risk assessment process may address how the entity considers the possibility of unrecorded transactions or identify and analyzes significant estimates recorded in the financial statements. Risk relevant to reliable financial reporting also relate to specific events or transactions. Risk relevant to financial reporting include external and internal events and circumstances that may occur and adversely affect an entity's ability to initiate, record, process, and report financial data consistent with the assertions of management in the financial statements. Once risks are identified, management considers their significance, the likelihood of their occurrence, and how they should be managed. Management may initiate plans, programs, or actions to address specific risks, or it may decide to accept a risk because of cost or other considerations. So, ang entities risk assessment process daw, isa siyang process para ma-identify yung mga risk at kung paano siya i-handle ng management. Alamin ng management kung paano nila i-handle yon. So, here are the process in handling the risk. So, sa step 1, i-identify mo muna yung risk. Once na ma-identify mo na-identify mo na yung risk, mag-proceed na tayo sa step 2, which is i-consider na yung significance nito sa entity. Step 3, aalamin natin kung kailan posibleng mangyari yung risk na yon. So lastly, or step 4, dito magde-decide na yung management kung anong actions yung gagawin nila para ma-handle yung risk or ma-minimize to. So yung management, magpaplano na sila, gagawa na sila ng plano, ng program, or ng actions to address the risk, to handle it, ganun po. So the entity should focus on the risks that may exist in the financial reporting, because we all know that financial reporting or financial statements is used as a tool for decision making. Risk can arise or change due to circumstances such as the following: changes in operating environment, changes in the regulatory or operating environment can result in changes in competitive pressures and significantly different risk. New personnel may have a different focus on our understanding of internal control. New or revamped information systems. Significant and rapid changes in information system can change the risk relating to internal control. Rapid growth, significant and rapid expansion of operations can strain controls and increase the risk of a breakdown in controls. New technology, incorporating new technologies into production processes or information systems may change the risk associated with the internal control. That's all po. Thank you.
Okay. New technology. Okay. So there, ano, so we are moving more inside familiarizing ourselves with internal control. No? So we go to the next Malaluan. You continue. Uh, maglipay mo pa kaunti. Maglipay mo pa kaunti. Maximize mo kaunti. Tingnan ka. Yan, 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 yan. Yan. Okay, ganda na. Okay, go.
Good evening po.
Evening.
Continuation po sa report po nila. Narinig
Oh.
po ako.
Oo.
New business models, products, or activities. Ulit nga. New businesses, models, products, or activities. Entering into business areas or transactions with entity has it introduce new risk associated with internal control. Corporate restructuring. Restructurings may be accompanied by staff reductions and changes in supervision and segregations of duties that may change the risk associated with internal control. Expanded foreign operations. The expansion or acquisition of foreign operations carries new or often unique risks that may affect internal control. For example, additional or change risk from foreign currency transactions. And lastly, new accounting pronouncements adoption of new. Due to those circumstances, risk can arises or changes. The basic concepts of the entity's risk assessment process are relevant to every entity, regardless of size, but the risk assessment process is likely to be less formal and less structured in small entities than in larger ones. All entities should have established financial reporting objectives, but they may recognize implicitly rather than explicitly in small entities. Management may be aware of objectives without the use of a formal process but through direct personal involvement with employees and outside parties. For the further information, entity risk assessment process, nag-i-exist po to establish kung paano po ma-identify ng management yung business risk sa pamamagitan po ng paggamit ng financials that include ng management in-estimate yung significance ng risk, assesses the likelihood of their occurrence, and decided upon actions to manage them. Considerations specific to smaller entities. Many decisioner. In such situations, it is the engagement partner who, having personally conducted the planning of the audit, would be responsible for considering the susceptibility of the entity's financial statements to material misstatement due to fraud and error. Letter C. Information system including the business processes relevant to financial reporting and communication. An information system consists of infrastructure, which is physical and hardware components, software, people, procedures, and data. Infrastructure and software will be absent or have less significance in systems that are exclusively or primarily manual. Many information systems make extensive use of information technology. The information system including related business processes relevant to financial reporting. The information system relevant to financial reporting objectives, which includes the accounting system, consists of the procedures and records designed and established to first, initiate, record, process, and report entity transactions as well as events and conditions, and to maintain accountability for the related assets, liabilities, and equity. Resolve incorrect processing of transactions. For example, automated suspense files and procedures followed to clear suspense items out of the timely basis. Then, process of and account for system overrides or bypasses to controls. Transfer information from transaction processing systems to the general ledger, and capture information relevant to financial reporting for events and conditions other than transactions, such as the depreciation and amortization of asset and changes in recoverability of accounts receivables. And lastly, ensure information required to be disclosed by the applicable financial reporting framework is accumulated, recorded, processed, summarized, and appropriately reported in the financial transaction statements rather. Journal entries. An entity's information system typically includes the use of journal entries to record activities and processes that are performed by the entity. Might be journal entries changes in the entity's financial statements, uncollectible accounts receivable. Financial reporting process also includes establishing and
Si Malaluan.
such
Maganda
as
si
the impairment
Kato.
of the asset. In manual general ledger system, non-standard journal entries may be identified through inspection of ledgers, journals, and supporting documentation. When automated procedures are used to maintain the general ledger and prepare financial statements, such entries may exist only in electronic form and may therefore be more easily identified through the use of computer-assisted audit techniques. Related business processes. An entity's processes are activities designed to first develop, purchase, produce, sell, and distribute an entities and services and products. And next, ensure compliance with laws and regulations and record information, including accounting and financial reporting information. Business processes result in the transactions that are recorded, processed, and reported by the information system. Obtaining an understanding of the entity's business processes, which include how transactions are originated, assist the auditor obtain an understanding of the entity's information system relevant to financial reporting in a manner that is appropriate to the entity's circumstances. Accordingly, an information system encompasses methods and records that identify and record all valid transactions, describe on a timely basis the transactions in sufficient detail to permit proper classification of transactions of financial reporting, measure of the value of transactions in a manner that permits recording their proper monetary value in the financial statements, determine the time period in which transactions occurred to permit recording of transactions in the proper accounting period, and present properly the transactions and related disclosures in the financial statements. Thank you.
Oh, tapos na pala yun. 472. 472. Okay. Uh, okay. So, they have listened or heard from three speakers tonight, and I hope and I know that more about internal control we learned this evening. And this will continue tomorrow, no? Also on internal control. Okay. So, class, do you have any question at this point? Again, we say bye-bye. But before that, nasan si Ray? Rain, ano ba ngayon? Oo nga, si Ray. Positive. Okay. So, class, you prepare for our screenshot attendance. So at this point that we are seeing the importance of internal control system, what comes next to be learned are the procedures. How can we test that the internal control is strong enough, or there's the next lessons for you to learn what procedures should be done, no? To test the controls. Okay, teka. Okay, so there. Oh, Dayan, Cherry, hindi ko makita kayo. Patricia, oo. O Ray, pati ikaw hindi namin makita. Oh. Ray, you say 1, 2, 3, and we start smiling. Everybody prepare. Smile. Ano ba ang pinakawandang smile this evening? Kinig ka. Ito yata sa inyo, no? Ano yun? Bakit? May nakikita ko sa akin. Ayun. Okay. Ah, take ka naman ng 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, wait na lang namin. Ma-reach yung aming cellphone. Ring or alarm.